slow, mud-brown river winds through a warm floodplain of the Late Cretaceous. A thin haze hangs above the water, while insects drift through the humid air. Shallow water curls around exposed sediment, broken branches, and half-submerged driftwood. Small ripples cross the quiet bank as leaves stir in a faint breeze. Insects hover over wet mud, and distant animal calls fade across the floodplain. Near the waterline, a mature Triceratops horridus stands alone, heavy and exhausted. The Triceratops lowers its broad beak toward the river and begins to drink. Its chest rises with slow, labored breaths as it guards its left hind leg. A shallow wound marks its rear flank, crusted with blood, dirt, and swelling. Suddenly, it stops drinking and raises its head, listening to the vegetation. Water drips from its beak as the floodplain falls into an uneasy silence. Farther inland, ferns bend sharply, then spring back behind something large. Heavy footfalls press into the firmer soil, slow, measured, and dangerously close. An adult Tyrannosaurus rex appears behind the shrubs, its massive head held level. It pauses there, watching the wounded Triceratops beside the muddy river. The predator studies the distance, the injured leg, and every delayed movement. Then it steps into the open, its long tail balancing the heavy torso. One foot sinks into softer ground, compressing mud beneath the spreading toes. The Tyrannosaurus shortens its next step and carefully shifts its enormous weight. The Triceratops turns toward the threat, bringing both brow horns into line. It pivots unevenly, forcing the injured rear leg through the saturated ground. Despite the pain, its skull and solid frill remain fixed on the predator. The Tyrannosaurus stops, keeping its body angled away from the waiting hordes. Its jaws remain closed as it begins moving sideways along firmer soil. The Triceratops follows, making another short pivot while mud folds beneath its forefeet. Its injured hind foot slips, but the horns never drift away from the threat. The herbivore shifts its weight forward and regains balance without turning its body. The Tyrannosaurus advances toward the waterline, keeping clear of the horn tips. For several tense seconds, both giants become completely still beside the river. The Triceratops breathes heavily, while the predator waits for weakness or hesitation. The Tyrannosaurus places one foot closer to the herbivore's injured left side. Its body remains coiled to reverse direction if the horns swing toward it. Tyrannosaurus approaches from an oblique angle, still searching for an opening. For one dangerous moment, it enters the outer edge of the horn's reach. The Triceratops explodes forward in a short, sudden thrust through the mud. Its forefeet drive against the bank as both horns sweep toward the Tyrannosaurus. The predator jerks backward before either horn can make solid contact. Its feet strike shallow water, sending restrained splashes across the muddy bank. A safer distance opens, and the Triceratops immediately stops its forward charge. Still braced beside the river, it keeps its horns locked on the predator. The Tyrannosaurus watches for a final moment, then slowly turns away. It disappears among the ferns, leaving the exhausted Triceratops standing beside the river.